Hello, everyone. I'm Vivian Hermiz, and I am one of your hosts for tonight's Wellness Toolkit sessions, along with Frank Baird. Hi, Frank.
Hello.
So I want to welcome you all and give you a little bit of the lay of the land, especially if you're new, as a reminder to those that have been coming. This is a drop-in class, and it's suitable for any level of knowledge or practice. We don't assume that you know how to do any of these techniques. We pull from very, very different areas and modalities. And so when we do the practice, we actually guide you through the whole thing. There might be periods of silence, but those are just an opportunity to practice and see where your mind goes with it. I'm going to turn it over to Frank to start us off with this month's continued theme of Who Am I?
Thank you. Who am I? So we we've been, I do sometimes wonder, or forget. Anyway, so this month we've been talking about who am I, and we talked about me and my caregivers, and then me and friends and loved ones. Tonight we're going to explore another big territory, which is me and my workplace, or the people that I work with or work for or who work for me. So that's going to be the topic, and the practice will be related to that, but we're going to do the practice first. So if you're new here or if you're not, start by getting comfortable. Find a comfortable posture. Your eyes can be open or closed, whichever you prefer. And really all you have to do in this practice is listen to my voice. I'm going to be providing some guidance, some suggestions, and when you hear them, notice what effect hearing them has. You might notice if you happen to accept my invitation to direct your attention in a particular way, or if you decline. Or if you're like me, you notice you're thinking about dinner instead of, oh, there's Frank's voice again. Then you come back. Just listen to my voice and notice what's happening. And we're hoping that the effort in this is that you make a gentle, friendly effort to be with whatever's happening. So, sometimes when people try these practices, they get mad at themselves or they get mad at their brain because their attention won't go where they want it to, or it won't stay where they want it to. Or they get mad at the neighbors because they're making noise, or the dog because the dog is making noise, or they get mad at themselves because they're sleepy. The invitation with this practice is there are no obstacles, and really even disappointment is an opportunity to notice what was your expectation and what relationship are you taking to both the expectation or the hope and what you're doing right now. Right? So in this sense, nothing that's happening isn't available for practice, or I guess the better way to say that is everything that's happening is available for practice. Nothing is a mistake. Nothing is wrong. That includes whether we're doing it right or we're doing it as well as we'd like to. That includes whoever we are and however we are. So notice what's happening, make a gentle, friendly effort to be with whatever's happening, and stop anytime. You can stop if you want to, you can stop if you need to. Sometimes it's helpful to put off stopping for a little while and kind of explore the experience of wanting to stop, explore what's behind the wanting to stop. Is it aversion to something that's happening? Is it longing for something better to be happening? If you can, put it off for a little while and be mindful. And if you don't want to be mindful, or if you're mindful and you find out, no, the reason I'm wanting to stop is I can't do this, I don't want to do this. Whatever the reason is, feel free to stop. Trust your judgment. Because you can always practice anytime. You'll get a recording of this class. You can always come back to this class and record it. So plenty of opportunity to practice. With that said, I invite you to find this comfortable posture. And you might start by noticing what kind of energy you have right now. Do you have like awake energy? Are you energetic? Are you able to be here now, or do you find yourself being sleepy? Or do you find yourself being too energetic to be here, too much going on? So you might start just by noticing what state you're in. And part of what's helpful about noticing what state you're in is right now, I invite you to practice being as tolerant or as accepting as you can be about the state you're in. You may want it to be different, and right now it's not. But we're going to do some things that might adjust what's happening. You have to be careful not to try to make things different. But we're going to cultivate the conditions where something different might happen. So one of the things we're going to do is bring attention to the body. And if you notice any places in the body that feel tense or tight, if you can, let go of as much of that tension and tightness as you can. Or if you notice that in the body there's a lot of fatigue, tiredness, maybe you could benefit from sitting up a bit, standing up, adjusting your posture, either so that you're more comfortable or so that you're in a posture that is conducive to practice. You can do this practice standing if you'd like. You can do mindful walking while we're doing this practice. So you start by noticing the state you're in, acknowledging this is the state I'm in, and then making some soft, friendly adjustments. Adjustments that help you to practice the way you'd like to practice, or to try to practice the way you'd like to try to practice right now. And after you've spent enough time making this gentle, friendly effort to adjust the body and the body state, when you feel like this is the best I can do right now, this is either as at ease as I'll be for now, or as awake as I can be for now. When you've noticed your efforts at adjusting, they're good enough for now, you might bring attention to breathing. You might notice that the body breathes on its own. You don't have to make it breathe. For this practice, you don't have to breathe in any particular way. Bring attention to breathing and just feel it happening. One of the things that I enjoy about bringing attention to breathing is I don't have to be responsible for it. I don't have to manage it. I can trust that my body will do breathing right. I can trust that right now. There may be times in your life where you weren't quite so trusting, maybe when you had a cold or the flu, but right now, in this literal moment, if you can be here practicing, the implication is you can trust your body's breathing. So bringing attention to breathing can be both a pleasant experience and also an affirming experience, an affirmation of how reliable your body is in this way. Right now, I don't have to manage breathing. And maybe right now there are other things I don't have to manage either. If there's thinking happening, maybe I can let that be in the background. If there are emotions happening, maybe I can feel them, acknowledge them, and maybe just for now, just for the duration of this practice or part of this practice, maybe I don't have to do anything with them or to them or about them. I can be here in relative ease, noticing and feeling breathing happening. And when you notice that attention has wandered off, or it's been pulled away, when you notice, gently bring attention back to breathing. Sometimes you might practice like this for your entire practice period, bringing attention back to breathing over and over again. And sometimes in that gentle, friendly effort, ease arises. Sometimes relaxation arises. Sometimes stillness arises. Sometimes boredom or impatience can arise. And if you notice that, you might take a couple of deep breaths. Bring attention back to breathing. And take a couple of deep breaths to give your attention more to hook into, to settle onto, to make the sensations of breathing more full. So sometimes you adjust your practice slightly and you come back to breathing, just breathing. For tonight, we're going to adjust our practice a bit. We're going to do what's sometimes called a loving kindness meditation, an unstoppable friendliness meditation. Here's how we're going to do it tonight. So bring to mind anybody that you'd like to bring to mind right now. What we're going to do is make some good wishes to them. There are different ways of doing this practice, but what we're going to do tonight is pick people and make these wishes to them. And notice what it's like. The month's theme has been Who Am I? And we're in relationship to people in the world. Some of them we know and like or love. Some of them we don't really know. They're more of an acquaintance. Some of them we don't know at all. Some of them we know and don't like. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to bring to mind anybody that you feel like bringing to mind. And then we're going to make these wishes to them. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. So the attention anchor in this part of the practice is this being that you bring to mind and these phrases. And that if you notice your attention wandering off or getting pulled away, gently bring it back to the being that you bring to mind and these phrases. So just remember this, any being you're practicing with, you are bringing to mind. And if for whatever reason you decide you're done practicing with them, or you don't want to practice with them, you don't want them in your mind right now, or you don't want to make these wishes to them, send them away. send them away and invite a different being to mind. So now bring one being to mind. If you have a number to choose from for now, just pick one. I tend to start with my dog because it's so easy to make these good wishes to my dog. So when this being is as present as you want them to be, as vivid in your mind as you'd like them to be, imagine making these wishes. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. And to mindfully notice what it's like to hang out in the space with this being in your mind and these wishes. What's it like to be in the presence of this being and these friendly, good wishes? May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. So now you might thank this being for coming by. And you can even send them on their way, or you can have them in your mind sit down beside you. But now let's pick another being, your choice, a being in your life. It could be a friend, a family member, a loved one, a pet, someone you work with. It could be the barista at Starbucks who brings you your favorite and complicated beverage. Pick anyone. And use as much imagination or memory as you can. Make them as vivid in your mind as you want them to be or as you can. And when they're as present as you want them to be or they can be, make these wishes to them. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. And just hang out here for a moment. Hanging out with this being, with these wishes, with you making these wishes. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. Now thank this being for stopping by, and you can either send them on their way or ask them to sit here beside you in your mind. And let's pick another being, your choice, anyone you want to try this out with. So picking the being, bringing them to mind with as much imagination or memory as you have. And when they're as present as you want them to be or can make them, send them these wishes. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. And it's easy enough for our attention to wander off or get pulled away. And when you notice, gently bring attention back to this being, back to these wishes. I sometimes like to imagine the expression on their face when I'm making these wishes. And this is whether they understand your language or not. My dog, for example. Making these wishes and feeling what it's like to make these wishes and seeing what it's like for them to receive these wishes. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. Let's thank this being for coming by. And again, you can either send them on their way, you can invite them back anytime, or have them sit here beside you in your mind. Let's do one more being and really notice what it's like to bring them to mind, to make these wishes, and to be in the environment, in the atmosphere where these are the wishes you have for them. So you're sending them out and they're receiving them. So in this last being for now, is as present as you can make them or want them to be. Make these wishes. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. And now you can either send this being on their way or invite them to hang out with you also, sit beside you in your mind. And whether they're here with you in your mind or they went on their way and you'll see them later, imagine making these wishes to all of them, all at once. And them making the wishes to you all together, all at once. Can you imagine what it would be like looking at everybody's face when they're receiving and sending out these wishes? So to everyone that you were just practicing with. And if you'd like, if there's anyone else you want to invite into this group, our minds are really expansive, so there's room. So bring them in now. And maybe they're really vivid, or maybe they're kind of fuzzy, depending on how wide your attention is, how wide your memory or imagination. But bring in everybody you'd like to bring in for now. And make these wishes, everyone making these wishes. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong in body. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you live with ease and well-being. And so everyone, all together, everyone in your mind, everyone here on this call, and anyone else we want to include, may we all be happy and peaceful. May we all be healthy and strong in body. May we all be safe and protected from harm. May we all live with ease and well-being. Isn't this what we want for ourselves, for everyone? May we all be happy and peaceful. May we all be healthy and strong in body. May we all be safe and protected from harm. And may we all live with ease and well-being. To conclude our practice for this evening, if you'd like to keep them all in your mind, please do. Or you can send them on their way for now. Again, invite them anytime. Make these wishes anytime. And for now, if your eyes are closed, you might open them. You might look around the space you're in. You might move your head around. Maybe shrug your shoulders. Stretch. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Yawn, if you'd like. This concludes our practice for now. Thank you for your practice. Thank you to all the beings that you brought to mind and that came to mind to participate in this practice. So I'm a little reluctant to move on because I don't know about you, but I really like just basking in that experience. I say basking because my hope is that if you bring to mind any being you wanted to bring to mind, that's less arduous, less difficult than some other beings that could come to mind. But I know that's not always the case. So we're going to have a brief talk, some questions, answers, explorations. Two things. One is the practice, the phrases that we just did. There's a comprehensive practice called loving kindness, or I like the phrase unstoppable friendliness. I'm at a loss for words. It's a handout, right? So you can download it from here. Man, I lost my ability to be articulate. So lots of different ways to do this practice. I did it this way because tonight we're going to talk about who am I in relation to the workplace. So I don't know if you are familiar with or knew of this book, Are You My Mother? There's a bird in the book. walking around asking everybody, "Are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother?" On the cover here, right, the bird is asking this dog. I'm not sure if the dog just woke up from a nap or if the dog's like, "Can you just not? I am clearly not your mother." But anyway, I think of this because one of the things that happens is that we have stories about ourselves and others. And the past is always informing the present. And it does this as generalizations, or one of the things I think of is pattern recognition from lived experience and personal histories. So you can access the two prior meetings on demand, right? If you're interested. But we talked about like sort of how people are born into the world and how we generate meaning and stories. And the longer we live, the more stories we have, the more meaning we have. Not necessarily the richer the stories or the more diverse the meaning. In fact, a lot of times it's the same story over and over. It's like Hollywood making another Spider-Man origin story, which if you like Spider-Man, it's like, okay, but if you're not all that interested in seeing the beginning again, right, that there is a lot of opportunities for different meanings, different stories about ourselves and others. Here's one of the things about pattern recognition and generalizations, though. Our brain makes generalizations anyway. We're in this moment, we're having a particular experience, and we tend to generalize it. It has predictive value, right? The more accurate our prediction is about this kind of thing happening again, we feel like the safer we are in the world, we feel like the better we are, the smarter we are, the more knowledgeable. And there's some truth to that. There's also a lot of errors in that, because another moment may be similar to this, but we often make the mistake of thinking this is like that, like it's just like that. So we do that with pattern recognition, and there are two kinds of pattern recognition. So, right, pattern recognition is I recognize that I've seen something like this before. So, it might be like, I don't know, this is a good example, but like, I know what a square looks like, and I can recognize in this scene all the squares, or all the things that look like squares, or all the things that fit into squares. And so a side-by-side comparison is on the left is the pattern or the experience I had in the past. On the right is this new pattern, this new experience, and in this metaphor, I'm looking back and forth, right? I'm looking at the pattern, I'm looking at the new moment, and I'm comparing and contrasting. That, in my opinion, is a better way of doing pattern recognition than what we mostly do. What we mostly do is an overlay, right? In psychology, this is called sometimes called a projection, right? So what happens is, here's the raw experience. Here's the phenomena I meet in the world. And what I do is I put an overlay onto it. So it's like, the basic thing is like good or bad, like it, don't like it, right? Here's phenomena, put on the overlay, don't like it. Put on the overlay, I do like it. So it's funny because when I talk about phenomena, it's almost like phenomena is a lot. This isn't quite true, but I think about phenomena sort of like, if I meet an object that's orange, the overlay of is orange good or bad. It's much more complicated when people are involved, and we do that regularly, right? So the projection is, I'm having a conversation with somebody. Am I having a conversation with them, or do I have this overlay? And often the overlay is people that had a big impact in our lives, pleasant or unpleasant, positive or negative. And our caregivers are often the overlay. So this happens all the time in relationships, right? So sometimes couples will make this accusation, and we all know never say this, and then sometimes we do. And then we pay the price, right? Which is, you're just like your mother. Or worse, you're just like my mother. And that is really a good opportunity to go, oh yeah, there's this overlay here. I have the pattern of this being laid over this person. And to the extent that it's laid over them, then who they actually are, how they actually are, is obscured. And I would say not only then is our perception inaccurate, but it's also unfair to the person. They may be a lot, right? If you did side-by-side pattern recognition, right, you may go like, there's a lot in common. However, there's discernment there that isn't there when it's an overlay, because we're busy reacting to the person that isn't there. We're reacting to, say, my partner just did something that I didn't like, and so I'm upset or angry. But now I'm really reacting to the overlay, because it's not just this, it's like that. It's like that thing, and I can't stand it, and I've just amplified the unpleasantness of it. So we're born into the world, right? We learn a lot about how to be beings in the world from our initial caregivers. We take that, we have our stories, our meaning, we generalize that out. We start doing our pattern recognition when we meet friends, partners, people in the world. And then the topic for tonight is in the workplace. So that could be our employers, or if we're the employer, our employees. That could be our colleagues, our bosses, our business associates. Sometimes it's our customers. And so there's this interesting phenomena that happens a lot, which is, if you look often, you can tell that people are having the same relationship with people in the workplace that they had with their caregivers. For example, say you have a boss, right? And then the boss is like the good or bad parent, the good or bad caregiver, right? So if you're afraid at your job, or you don't like your job, or you're told to do things that either you don't like to do, or you're told in ways that you wish you'd been told differently. Are you familiar with the term voluntold? Right? That's they become the bad parent. And again, the problem with this is, in a way, it's like, oh, there's potentially some material there that I can recognize and work with. With mindful attention, I could get some insight into how I'm doing that and what it's causing. And mostly we don't do that, right? Mostly we're just caught up in the reaction. I love my boss, they're the good parent. I hate my boss, they're the bad parent. Or my colleague. Colleagues can be good and bad parents too. They can also be siblings. So this is an absolute, right? This is an invitation to kind of explore and consider this. Here's what mindfulness offers: clear perception, right? So mindfulness offers us the tools and practices for clear perception. When I start becoming more aware of my reactivity, I can start to become more clear about what's going on, my relationship to the phenomena, my relationship to my own stories and the meanings I've made. Mindfulness also offers me a choice about to go with that or go with something different. Am I just going to go with my conditioning? Am I just going to go with that reminded me of this, that pattern recognition, that overlay? And so I'm going to have the same reaction to that I had to the unpleasant parent when I was 5. And then insight that results from the mindful awareness gives us knowledge and wisdom, or it doesn't necessarily give it, but it offers knowledge and wisdom and the opportunity to live a more intentional life instead of just the life we happen to have. What that means is better relationships with ourselves, better relationships with the people we work with, I'll just say better relationships with everyone in the world. And here's how tonight's practice really helps with that. So the invitation between now and the next time we meet is try this out. So you can remember these phrases, you can write them down, you can take the handout or print it out. But I like to do this. So as I'm moving around in my day, I like to periodically pause. And when I first started this, I had to have my phone tell me to pause. And seeing a particular person, it doesn't matter whether I know them or don't know them, saying these phrases in my mind to them. So I could be doing this like at the mall. I could be doing this someplace where I'm having lunch, right? Just anybody, the server, the person at the counter, the person at the next table, the person chewing really loudly, or right? Pick anybody and notice what happens when you pause and you make these wishes to them in the privacy of your own head. And then here's a place where it can be really, really fascinating. Do that at work. Just pick a colleague periodically. They could be like sitting across from you. They could be in a Zoom meeting with you. You get an email from them. Pause and make these wishes to them and just notice what happens. Sometimes what will happen is, wow, that was nice. Like I really like, since working from home, we use Teams and emails and emojis. And it's really interesting to be in a workplace where everybody's using a heart emoji. Because at first that was just weird. And now what I've noticed is I feel closer to people that I use a heart emoji with. Can you imagine if you make these wishes? Again, they don't even know you're doing it. You're just doing it in the privacy of your head. You make these wishes and notice what happens. So that's it for tonight's topic. I forgot to mention, if you have questions, pop them in the chat and pop them in Q&A. I did notice, I appreciated this comment. I picked individuals who I am acquaintances with, that I am it says conflict with. I think that I am in conflict with. Those are great people to practice with, because one of the things that unstoppable friendliness practice helps us do is notice the limits of our practice, the limits of our capacity or willingness to be friendly. We always have good reasons, but the question is, would I rather have a friendly relationship or not? And then I really appreciated this comment. We need to make these wishes into a billboard and erect them everywhere. Yeah, I think they need an advertising budget. So sorry I went on and on. Do you have any thoughts, Vivian, about any of this in our few remaining moments?
No, I really enjoyed it. I guess I can say that opportunity that you're inviting everyone to do with their coworkers is also a mindful opportunity to give you like a mindful pause. So not only are you sending hopefully some good well wishes to this person, but you're also giving yourself a pause, especially if there's someone challenging. So it kind of has a dual purpose.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned do it in traffic. Yeah, traffic is a really great place, and so is standing in line in the store.
Yeah. There was a comedian who was talking about how how territorial we get when we're in line at the cashier, and how, who's responsible for putting down the divider thing of the
That
items.
little bar, yeah,
Is it the
on
person
on the
that's
conveyor belt?
and like the judgment that arises, if you expect that person to put down the bar, or if they are expecting you as the person in front of them to put down the bar. And I just think about not just that circumstance, but all the circumstances where, even in traffic, right? this is the section of the freeway that I own, or the street, and then now this is my section. And now you're in my way, and your section keeps on moving as your car is moving. We're kind of hilarious.
I love the phrase "my lane."
Yeah.
Right? You cut into my lane.
But only this piece, right? Because we don't care about 100 yards behind us, or well, maybe we care about 100 yards in front of us. But that we owned it for that, split second that we were in it.
Yeah.
And the frustration arises. It's just, our mind is fascinating, and I hope that this practice helps you kind of hold it a little more tenderly and hold other people a little more tenderly.
Turns out holding people tenderly, or increasing our capacity to hold people can't even talk anymore. People tenderly feels really good. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here, Vivian.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you all for joining. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.